Class, I'm going to talk to you a second about your lab number 2. So I'll post one video talking about the 2.1 and 2.2. So hopefully it makes sense as you go into this lab that's due soon. So let me share my screen. Okay, so in our modules, here's all of our labs. You just turned in lab 1, and I'll be grading those soon, and that'll be your template lab document, your APA form for the semester that you can use for labs 2, 3, and 4. And so you can see here's lab 2.1. For the labs, this is really the applied part of the class where you're going out and you're collecting data from 4 different volunteers for every single lab. It's okay if you use the same 4 volunteers for each lab, but you have to have 4 individuals that you collect data from for each lab 2, 3, and 4. So for this one, lab 2, you're measuring the relationship between objectivity and creativity. So we're going to use the ICEP and the coat hanger test. So you can look down here, you can read this paper. The inventory of student explanation preferences, or ICEP, is designed to measure an objectivity subjectivity dimension. High score supposedly indicates a tendency toward subjectivity and perhaps a mild rejection of the scientific method of acquiring knowledge. And a low score indicates acceptance of more objective explanations of various phenomena. So then the second test is a really just basic um, test of creativity where you ask people what they could do with a coat hanger. Um, Obviously, okay, hanging up clothes, right? But how many other things can you think of to creatively do with a coat hanger? So they get 3 minutes to make their list. So you can see collecting data. So you need 4 participants, preferably college students. They don't have to be college students. It would be ideal if everyone were around the same age range, but they do have to be 18 or older. So you can click on this packet. Let me see if you can see that. Okay, you can see the packet. So here's your whole lab 2 packet. This data summary sheet right here, this is the only document you have to turn in for every lab. I just need the data summary sheet. You're going to collect the age, the gender, and the ICEP score and the coat hanger score for each of your 4 participants. So here's the ICEP. You can see that it's 20 questions. And then you have a score sheet for participant 1, participant 2, participant 3, and participant 4. And then you can see the other 4 documents are just the coat hanger test. So they have 3 minutes and they have to list as many things as they can think of with a coat hanger. I don't think anyone's going to get more than 25. I mean, if they get to the end, just stop their time. And then write their score is however many they thought of. So download that, print it out so that you can give it to your people. Okay, give 2 of your participants the ICEP first and 2 the coat hanger test first, and then reverse it with the other 2, right? So, and if you are doing this all together with people, say you have roommates and you're just going to have your 4 roommates do it, or 4 friends over at your apartment, or 4 family members on spring break, or whatever, it's okay that everyone does it back to back, but they can't hear each other's answers, obviously. So whenever you do this experiment on each individual, make sure that you're just doing one at a time and that the other individuals aren't in the room. So you're doing the 2 participants with 1 test first and the other 2 with the other test first for counterbalancing. So give them the ICEP answer sheet so that as you ask the questions, they can write in their answers, right? So you need to read the instructions on the first page of the ICEP to the participant, and then ask them if they have any questions. If they don't have any questions, give them the test page and allow them to begin. Remind them that they must answer every single question. So read the instructions, and the reason we're doing that, right, we're trying to make sure that every individual that we're collecting data from across the whole class has been given the assessment in as close to the exact same manner as possible. Then you're going to give them the coat hanger test, and you're going to read this exactly. I want you to list as many different uses of a coat hanger as you can think of. The hanger will be arranged any way you wish. You will have 3 minutes to make your list. Ready? Begin. And then use a stopwatch or a timer on your phone. They have 3 minutes. Make sure you stop them at exactly 3 minutes. Thank them for volunteering and participating in your experiment. Let them know they're free to go. So then, once you get the ICEP paperback and you have your scoring key in the ICEP, each item 1 through 20 has a weighted number assigned to it. The key tells you how to score it. So for example, if the participant chooses A on item 1, they're given 4 points for item 1. If they choose C, they get 1 point. Do this for each item. The participant's total score is found by adding the weight for items 1 through 20. And the coat hanger total is just simply how many items they wrote down. But make sure that you don't score chained answers. So for example, if the participant said a coat hanger could be used to hang shirts, hang pants, hang coats, etc., that just counts as hanging clothes. So that only counts for 1 point. So look at them and make sure things aren't similar or chained. And then upload that scanned data summary sheet. So that's all I need for lab 2.1. That's what's due first. And then after I have received everyone's lab 2.1 data sheet, I will collect all of the data from the whole class. I will put it into Excel, and then we'll have, I don't know, maybe 100 different data points or data lines where we have gender, age, ICEP, coat hanger score. And then I will give that document back to you. And it needs to be, instead of .xl, it needs to be .csv, comma delimited, because that's what JASP uses to process the data. JASP can't use the Excel file. So I'll probably send it as a CSV, but sometimes students can't open it that way. So I'll put in the announcement if I send it as an Excel or a CSV, but either way, make sure it turns into CSV. All you have to do is open it, save as .csv, comma delimited, if I send it as an Excel, but hopefully I'll send it as both. So then you get that document back. Everyone has the same 100-point CSV file, and you have to JASP with it. You have to do something with this data that we've all collected. You have to analyze it, and then you have to write your lab report on it using your Lab 1 template that's in the perfect APA form, and talk about what we found and why and what you found in peer-reviewed sources, and really put it into practice. So here's the Lab 2.2 document. We're measuring the relationship between objectivity and creativity. So you can read all of this blurb, and here's the data analysis report section. So you download the CSV file, save it. Now you need to analyze it. So you'll open up JASP, right? And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to compute for the descriptives like demographics, age and gender, right? Because we want to know out of the whole class, well, how many males and females did we have, and what was the mean age of everyone in our course or everyone in our data set. And then you're going to want to do a Pearson correlation between the ICEP and the coat hanger test to see if there was a correlation. And then if it was, right, you're going to report whatever Pearson's R is. And then you're going to do a Spearman rank correlation to see if there was a coefficient there. So once you've done those, that's all you have to do in JASP, right? Get your demographic data for age, gender, Pearson correlation, and the Spearman rank correlation. And then you got to write it up. So you got your results and you have your Lab 1 data as a starting place. Here's also a link to see a sample lab report of what it could look like. So in your intro, you need to restate the purpose of the study, right? That's up here, but you need to do it in your own words. You need to use about 2 paragraphs for that, maybe 1, but definitely no more than 2. Then you have your method section, right? These are all our level 1 headings. And in your method section, you need these subheadings. So level 2 headings, participants, how many, so the mean, standard deviation, age range, genders, right? You're getting that from your demographic data that you pulled from JASP, that you computed in JASP. You're going to have a section talking about the material, so the ICEP and the coat hanger test, and make sure you cite. You can see your ICEP site is here. Hergenhanen, 1962. And then the procedure, right? Describe how you did data collection, how the data was scored, right? And then you have your results, your new level 1 heading, right? The results of your correlation analyses. Tell me what you did, right? What did you find? What did you do? So don't copy paste this, but we performed a Pearson correlation test between, you know, what you did and what we got, right? And then you can say it was positively correlated, and here's your Pearson R and your p-value, or negatively correlated, or there was no correlation, depending on what our data set tells us. And then here's your discussion section, right? This is where most of your paper will be. The bulk of your paper is here. Don't answer this in a bulleted list. craft your discussion that smoothly addresses each one of these questions in a flowing narrative, right? Because you are writing a research paper. You did research, you analyzed it, and now you're writing about it. So maybe answer each question or the related questions in separate paragraphs. You need to find 2 or 3 additional references, peer-reviewed journal articles, to support your claims. So what relationship was being investigated? Did you expect to find such a relationship? Explain. Explain the results. And assuming that the test measured what they said they were measuring, talk about that. What are some weaknesses of the ICEP and the coat hanger test for measuring creativity? Did you feel that your participants would score approximately the same on these 2 tests if they were administered again? Do you think it would be consistent? Would you expect the performance on the creativity test to be related to IQ? Just hypothesize. What do you think about that? And then can you think of any other variables that you could test that might be related using those assessments or something similar? And then discuss other or better measures that we could use to measure creativity. And then here's your references, right? You need some 2 to 3 references, not counting the ICEP site. It's worth 20 points. You're going to submit it in Canvas. It has to be an APA format. This isn't pass fail. Only lab 1 was that, so you can make anywhere from 0 to 20 points. Remember, I don't take late work, and you can reach out if you have any questions. And this is the same format that will follow for lab 2, lab 3, and lab 4. We'll just be doing different experiments and different computations in JASP. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope that makes the lab portion of our course make sense. And I hope you have fun with this, right? You've been learning as psych majors about statistics and how to compute generic stats and how research is conducted, right? But this is you pulling it all together. You're actually going out, you're getting 4 participants, you're analyzing the data, you're writing about it in a lab report, you're finding citations to support what you're saying in your lab report. And I know that it's a little daunting, and for those of you who aren't good at stats, you're freaking out, but JASP is really easy and it does all the work for you. You just have to click on the right buttons. So I'm excited for you, and I look forward to reading your lab reports and seeing what we're going to find regarding creativity and scientific method rejection or acceptance. So that's all I have. Thanks.